Hello, everybody. We are back again on Talk Football Live. We always look forward to the big games, but this weekend is particularly huge. It is the top of the table clash with Liverpool and Manchester City. We have a couple of guests with us to help us with the game. Ola Lobzy from Liverpool. You guys might remember some of his previous appearances on here, and Donadoni, of course, here to defend Manchester City. Welcome, guys. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
I'm
I'm
great.
good.
As usual, always the best, still the best.
Bullish as always. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
All right. So let's kick it off. Right. This is big. It's maybe one of the most exciting title races we've seen in recent years. Really, because there's a third team this time. It's been Liverpool, Man City over the past few years. And this season is particularly even more exciting because there's the announcement that Klopp is leaving. So it's like a last chance of a hurrah for Klopp. Arsenal are also close on their heels. They've been having some good records, this year so far. How are you feeling ahead of this one, Donadoni? Is this
Uh,
Man City's chance to do it again, back to back to back to back? Or are you going to get pipped? How are you feeling ahead of this tie? This could be a title defining clash.
no, not really. I think we're gonna win this game. If you look at the momentum, this season has been our off year. We've not really played to our peak. We just picked up form maybe last month, and the focus is different now. There's more seriousness in the team. The intensity has stepped up. So I don't see how Liverpool is going to stop us. Really, I don't. I
Wow.
think Liverpool is a weaker team. I don't even think they have a keeper right now. That guy is weak. So when you really face a team like City that will put you under pressure, I think they will fold and break.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Donadon is confident. Lobsy, I know you're always bullish. How are you feeling ahead of this one? How do you respond
Um,
to that fact that Kelleher is not that solid and you guys have a working
as
squad at the moment?
interesting as it seems like that he would rate Keller as a weak keeper, I would like to remind him that the last two Carabao Cup, he was the keeper and he performed better than any other keepers. He's been our keeper since Allison's been injured. You probably have not lost any game since then. You ask yourself the question: has he lost a game? Nope. It might not be the number one keeper, but I will rate him the same as Edison because they are on the same level to me.
Wow.
Sincerely, even though Liverpool at the moment is plagued with a lot of injuries,
What country does he keep for?
and we don't um, we don't have a full squad, right? You can tell that him being able to step up to the game, we've seen in the Premier League, usually if your first team keeper is good, most times your second team keeper is like iffy, like they're not strong enough. But Keller, and I think maybe the Arsenal second keeper is also good because they've been able to test those keepers and you say, oh wait, the team is actually performing better with these keepers, right? That's the way I will rate our keeper. Concerning the game on Sunday, I would say that it is one of the very important games. It is not the very important game because it seems like everyone lose sight of the fact that there's still 11 games to the end of the season. But this is one of the very important game that could determine who would have an advantage, not win, who have an advantage to win the trophy. Because in spite of the fact that we might say, oh, um, Man City is at its best right now. Liverpool is just at par because we don't have a full squad, a bunch of injured players. If Liverpool ties the game on the weekend, we have lesser, tougher games to play towards the end of the season. If Man City wins the game on the weekend, they still have tougher games to play because then they have to still play Arsenal and Spurs and other teams and Aston Villa and some other teams to the end of the season.
Liverpool has to
So
play all those teams too.
those ones are the easy tasks for us.
They have
So
to play Aston Villa. They have to play
when we
Spurs.
compare the two teams, there are more tougher games for Man City to drop points over time compared to Liverpool. But mind you, we have an home advantage also playing on Sunday. So, in spite of the injuries, I would say that the only favorable portion of the game is the fact that now you're playing at Anfield. So, where the team would have been timid by playing backwards and like trying to defend when we went to Man City in the first leg, even with all the strength Man City piled up on that game. I think the only person they missed in that game was Kevin De Bruyne. Every other team was complete. They only scored
Mm,
one goal, and it was a draw. To remind you, it was a draw, so that you remember very well.
mm.
Now they are coming to Anfield, and we know how important the game will be. One, it is one of the first steps towards winning the trophy with our fans in the stadium. One,
Let me
two,
yeah.
it is also the final season with club. So, in as much as you think he's going to take it as a small game, he is going to take it as an important game, but not the only important game. Because remember, you can win the game, but lose the battle. The battle is winning the trophy.
Hmm.
So always analyze it in the whole scope of it by saying, "Oh, Man City can have a one-off game today, but how many one-off games? You think you can win all the 11 games to the end of the season? No, nobody
We've
is
done,
perfect. You can
we've
lose
done,
it
let
on the
me
last
we've
day,
let
done
me
it
address
several
let me
So
address your earlier statement around injuries. So you say Liverpool has a weakened squad at the moment. Where do you think Liverpool is deficient, and does that give City advantages in those areas?
one,
Because
we
I
don't,
see a lot of players returning from injury for Liverpool.
and how many players? We don't have Trent. We don't have Allison. We don't have our
Okay.
midfield. Most of the midfield that we played, most of them are second players. Maybe Soboslai just came back.
who is injured in the
Uh,
midfield?
Yeah,
Soboslai
Soboslai
was
is back.
injured now. He just
Is
came back
back now.
Thursday.
Who is that?
Hmm.
Soboslai, you
No,
see, you don't
he was
even know
available
the
last weekend.
best midfielder in the Premier League.
Soboslai was
Soboslai,
available last weekend. He played last
no, he
weekend.
didn't. He didn't. No, no, he didn't play. He didn't play He just played a full
Oh, he
game.
did.
He just played half the game this Thursday.
So the injury does not hold water. If he's playing half, that means it's fit.
Oh yeah, it's fit.
Against Forest. He
Kevin De
was back
Bruyne
against Forest.
Kevin De Bruyne played a full game. Has been playing a full game since the return from injury. Who is fitter? You will say Kevin De Bruyne any day.
This excuse about
No,
injury.
remember, like I said, I didn't place an excuse. I
Lofty,
said,
I like to hear from Donadoni his points around
I
it.
think I think I think I think it's a coward excuse. This
okay,
we
all
start
right.
the season with 30 players are registered, 30 players that are good enough to play. You should have your first team, your backups, your youth team feeding up the main team. I've never seen Man City come to any game and say, "Hey, KDB did not play, that's why we lost," or Alan is not available, that's why we lost. We face every game with the belief that we can win.
Mm,
So if somebody is telling me that Salah is coming back from injury, that I don't hold that. Alan has not played the last 5, 6 games. Kevin
And
has not
where
played half of the season. Kevin is just coming back. He has not played 20 games of the season, and we are not complaining. Maybe if you had started from the season, we would not be where we are today. Maybe we would have wrapped up the league. That is the if and the excuse if I want to make excuse. Yeah. But
And I agree with you, Donadoni, and I think that's a great point that I actually wanted, and I will let Lobzy respond. But I just wanted to add to what Donadoni said. To be honest, let's just be fair. I know teams throw out, injury crises, except for Chelsea that bought 15 million players, right? The truth of the matter is, if you register 30 players at the beginning of the season, I mean, unless something ridiculously happened, you wouldn't expect 50% of that team not to be available, correct? So that means you have players that can still wear your shirt and represent. To be
okay,
fair to Donadoni and to be fair to City, De Bruyne missed like half of the season, and we all know that.
one player.
Hold on, no.
Yeah.
That's their best player. We all know that. Now
So
remember, Donadoni.
one
Also,
player.
just to let Donadoni know that you might not say it as a City fan, but there is no pundit, there is no media person that hasn't said it that this man Rodri, they don't lose when he plays, and that's the fact. The games you have lost this season, all those games, Rodri had been missing, even
because
though
he
he
had
won.
a red card. It
Yeah,
was
because he
missing.
had red cards and all that. So the point I'm trying to say is, even though a team is a team, injury is not an excuse. We all know
Mm-hmm.
that there is first team and there is a second team. We all know that players are better. There is a better quality, right, when it comes to certain player. So when you have Rodri and KDB starting on your team, that's quality. Those are players that other teams don't possess. To them, it's Salah. To them, it's Van Dijk. You understand what I mean? To them,
Yeah,
it's
Miss
Alisson.
Allison too.
Right? So those are players. So, but again, I still stand on the point that injury should not be an excuse for any club competing in the league and in Europe. If you're a top 4 team, you have the money to go and fight for the EPL. You have money to go and play the Champions League and compete well. Same thing goes for Arsenal. Partey has missed, but nobody is talking about it because strategically the manager was able to bring in Rice, right? So we are not noticing that. Partey had been injured. Jesus had played less game than he played last season. But we are seeing teams trying to work around these injuries and these, amounts of games. But Lobzy, I will let you respond. I just want to make sure that it's a bit. I won't use the word that Donadoni used, which is it's cowardice. But I think we shouldn't make injury as an excuse. If you are in a top 4 club and you are trying to compete,
So, like
Lobzy.
I was saying before I was interrupted, to that point, one thing is still clear. The Liverpool that played last season was plagued with injuries, and we couldn't make the top team. It was more evident that that was happening, right? Allison was missing, Van Dijk was missing, and we're down at the bottom. Now, Allison has been
I
missing
think your
for a
midfield
couple of months.
collapsed, and Klopp admitted
Midfield
to it. Klopp
also,
said he tried to rebuild your midfield, so it was aging
Mm-hmm.
out. That's on the manager. That's on management to understand when you're. I mean, City had the same thing.
When you need to
Fernandinho,
replace your teams.
and it's on the manager to see who is fading out, who is getting older, and bring in somebody to understudy and replace. I'll let you carry on.
which is
Yep.
fine, which is fine. Like I say,
Even
it's more or less
Fernandinho replaced Yaya Toure. It's a cycle.
Yeah,
exactly, which is fine. But it takes, remember, when each one of those players were replacing the other, they were present in the team.
Mhm.
Most of
Mm-hmm.
the players that replaced our old player were not present in the team. We
why?
needed to buy them to replace them. A bunch of our midfield right now that we have are literally new players we bought within the last 2 or 3 years. 2 years, or actually last year.
Why didn't you buy them earlier?
Because some we didn't expect them to leave. Also, some we didn't expect them to be as injured as they are right now. Right?
That's
And I think
management.
it's as simple, which you understand. Remember, that
That's
is
a
in
structure.
terms in the process of doing managing the club. Also, you have to put in mind the budget. Some teams have the means and capability to buy players as they want. Some others don't have that means, right?
They are
And
yet
it
to
is
start.
it is playing it is playing around the old Premier League. But that is not an excuse, because also your team has the opportunity to develop local players and also the youth team, which
Was to
which
grow.
club over time has been able to say, okay, wait, I don't have to I can't repeat the same mistakes of the past, right? So the same mistakes of the past was what happened last season. But this season now, he's been able to do it in such a way that even if a player is fit sometimes, once we are up 2 or 3 goals, substitute them, reserve them. We don't need you to play the whole full game for to get prone to injury and you're out. In the last couple of games, even though we had a bunch of injuries, you could see when we played Chelsea, we had literally 6 players who were under 20 or within the age of 20 and 16. 6 players, no full team, no top team in the Premier League would dare do that, and the team will not collapse.
Well,
That's
City has been doing it in their defense, but I will let Donadoni speak for that. Oscar
So
Ball.
let me ask
Yes,
Donadoni,
but
right? So,
let's be frank with this City that we keep calling. How many of the players are 20 and below?
You know,
How many?
Remember?
Foden,
Do you know how old
Let's
Foden
see
is?
Foden.
You know
Foden.
how old
How many
Foden
years
is?
Foden has been playing? How many years Foden has been playing in the starting 11?
It's the same thing you're talking
yeah,
about. He might
at
be
least
No,
3 4 years.
Foden earlier.
no, I'm saying it.
At
For
least three
instance,
four
all
years
the
now.
six players, to be very sincere, all the six players that played against Chelsea, you
Lobsy,
ask yourself the
as a
So
question:
City fan,
again,
have
like
any
again,
of
when did
as
that
them
happen?
played in the starting
You
11
had
in the
Curtis
last 4
Jones.
years?
You had no, hold on. You had Curtis
But no,
Jones.
no, no,
You
no,
came
no. I'm
from
not adding Curtis. Wait, wait,
Why
hold
is he
on,
on the
hold
first
on.
player?
No, no. I said six players. I didn't include Curtis
No, no, no.
Jones.
I'm saying the days when City started giving their younger players opportunity, like Oscar Bob, like Lico,
Cole
what's
Palmer,
it,
Rico
Rico Lewis,
Lewis.
Palmer,
Palmer,
Foden. What were you doing with folks like Harvey Elliott? What were you doing with
Louis.
folks like Curtis Jones? You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
just said
It's a
everybody had
matter of
wait.
it's
Let's
not
go back. Let's
again.
go back to what I
It's a matter
said.
of giving them the chance and those people seizing
Hold
the
on,
opportunity
hold on,
because they have
hold
the
on. I
quality.
just
Young
said
players
something
didn't have the
again.
quality to retain
I
that shirt.
All right. It seems like the Arsenal fan
so
is not a Man City fan right now. So
No, I just want to
let's
fact
go back
check
to the
you.
point
I
I was
just
trying
want
to
to
make.
fact check you.
Let's go back to the point I was trying to make. I said in the game we played against Chelsea, six of the players had never started in the team before in the past 6 years. Six of the
but
players.
whose fault is that though?
And like I still say, it's still youth development. You saw a 16-year-old that wasn't even as at the dates he started, right? He was not eligible to play in the senior team, right? Started in the game.
Whose fault
So,
is it that you were down to the 16 year
oh my
old?
God, I'm not sure you understand the English I just said. He is not eligible to play in the senior team, meaning he
Why
won't
was
have,
he an option? Is the question. Why did you
because
have to
now,
resort
Why
to
did
the
he
because
have to be
16
wait,
year
resting
old?
then? Because
because
your
the
team,
Why
age.
was your squad
had
not
injuries.
prepared?
That's the answer.
I just mentioned. I said due to his age, they won't have qualified. Now they qualify to play because of their age.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
the
my
question
my
was no, that
answer.
wasn't his question. His
Why
question
is
was
the
that
16-year-old the
exactly
option
why
that
would
is
you need
coming
to
into the
dig
team?
deeper?
I agreed he wasn't available until then, but why is he even
The premise
having
of
to
the
play at
point I
16?
just made, the premise of the point I just made is the fact that the team was injured. A bunch of players were injured in the last two
And that's a
months.
lack of preparation of the squad.
No, 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 no. It's
Biodun,
not lack of preparation. I'm just telling you that
Biodun,
they are prepared for the moment.
Biodun.
With the point I'm making,
Donadoni,
they
I
are
can hear
prepared
you. Go
for
ahead.
Donadoni.
the
This is
Yeah,
the
moment
plan.
Donadoni, go
for it
ahead.
to
This is the
happen.
plan. They are already cooking up an excuse for the loss on Sunday.
Hold on. I'm not.
It's
I'm not
already
trying
they
to
are
be.
already cooking
I'm
it
not.
up.
I don't
I
think
can
you heard
already
the
see
point
it
I'm
on the
saying.
stove.
I am not cooking
The
up.
stove is cooking. Hey, we played younger players. They are not matured enough. They need more experience. We are not going to give. We are not buying that. We are
Let
coming.
me ask. Let me ask Donadoni. How does City set up against Klopp? Because regardless, the fact is, regardless of who Klopp puts out, whether a 16-year-old, whether an experienced 25-year-old, Liverpool is historically a tough nut for City to crack. In fact, I think Pep has said several times that Klopp has driven him
The
to
game
improve due to
over
the
the
way
years.
Klopp tends to play and set up. They've given City, their toughest runs in terms of the title challenges over the last few
Yeah,
years, and they have been the only team to take that title away from Pep in
during
recent
COVID.
times.
During
So
COVID.
it's going.
You
So
see,
it's going to be
another
tough.
excuse.
It's going to
Another
hold.
Hold on,
excuse.
Hold on.
So
Okay,
Let's
hold
let's
okay,
on.
just
Kobe.
go.
So
Wasn't
it
your
Let's
doesn't
just
team?
take
The
away
question
from
I
the
want to ask
fact.
him is this:
Hold on,
during
Lobzy.
that same COVID, wasn't your
Lobsy, the
team
question is for Donadoni.
shooting?
Hold
Hold
on.
on. The question is for Donald. During this period, right, it has always been tough for City. So City has to do something. What does City have to do to
Nothing.
get a
Nothing.
result at
Nothing. Not.
Anfield?
We don't have to do anything extra. If you have looked at those previous games, except for last season, every other season has been a very dodgy officiating, in which Milner is supposed to get a red card, they won't give him a red card. I've seen all those games in the past, but it was just this season. The first game we played was fair officiating. As long as the officiating is fine, and now there's VAR. This is a win for City. I'm not worried about referee in a game because
Donadoni,
there's
why
VAR.
didn't you win the
Wait. Why
first leg?
did
It
you
was
just
a 1-1 in
mention?
Etihad.
Why did you
Can you
just
explain
mention
why
that
you didn't
Milner
win the
was
first
supposed to
leg? It
get
was
a
a
red
1-1 in
1-1.
card?
Etihad.
But I remember your same Rodri used his hand to hit the ball. Was it against Arsenal, or Everton? And you guys were not given a red. Was not given a pen. They didn't give you a penalty against you. That was a decider on one of the trophies that we lost to you. I,
When was that?
oh well, you have amnesia, right? It's just amnesia.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
trying
just
to
forgets.
remember. You have to
Oh, you
pinpoint.
see what I'm saying? He never remembers his own.
See,
Let me tell you something. Of some of those seasons that we lost to you by 1 point, I'll
okay,
tell you.
yeah, the one that you lost by 1 point. Okay,
Yes, you played Everton. You were supposed to be given a red. You was a draw in that game. If they are giving that red, you are lost the game.
who was supposed to be given a red
Rodri, he literally used his hand. Go check. It's a
to
fact.
carry the
It's a
ball?
fact. Yes.
We have to go check. We won the game. It
Oh
wasn't
my
a draw
God. You won. You didn't want win the game. It was a draw.
against Everton.
Yes, it was a draw, bro. It was a draw.
I have to go check. I can't
Oh,
remember
you
that.
see, you probably don't.
All
Lobzy,
right,
You're not,
we're
you're not,
gonna
Lobzy
come back.
has
We're gonna come back to that. I'm gonna check that. But Donadoni, can you explain why you drew against Liverpool? Because you
in the
said,
first leg.
except for last season, that the officiating was
See,
good. You drew at Etihad.
I think
That
that
game.
game was
Can
it
you
was
in
explain what
their
happened?
home.
that game was
That
it
game
was
was what?
early in the season, right?
Oh, bro.
Yes.
No, it was
Explain.
in
Number one,
November. It was in
number
November. It wasn't early on. It was November.
Which early season? You see now, you
November
always forget.
25th.
no, I can't remember the details of
How
that
would you
game,
remember?
but what I can tell you is this: the motivation of City in the first phase of the season has been low. They are not motivated. They are just cruising along. Now there's a different mindset. The motivation is high, the focus is intense, and the energy they put to the game is different. You find people running more, people passing more, there's more movement, and they're creating more chances. In the earlier days of the season, you can I think Wolves beat us, Sheffield United beat us. We were not really that focused. We were just okay cruising along. Now there's a different focus.
Okay. So now that there is a different focus, I don't know who is driving the focus, whether it's 100%
Yeah,
of Pep, whether
because you
it's,
can now you're
or
getting
whatever.
closer to the finish line and you can see the finish line
So my question is, should we? Is it what everyone is dreading, which is City knows how to go for the rest of the season without losing a game? Is that what we are
comfortably.
seeing? Is that what we are going to
Comfortably.
witness, including the game against Liverpool?
Yeah, comfortably.
So it's a win for City on
It's a win for City, comfortably.
where will the win come? And I'm going to go to Lobster with the same question. Can you walk us through where, because you played against Man United, that's your okay, except for the Champions League game during the week, right? And you had a setup with Haaland, right? You struggled a bit with Man United. Now it could people could argue because the chances came, but Haaland missed. People could say that, but you struggled until Foden did he took it on himself, and I think that was an individual kind of brilliance, taking the boldness and
Mhm.
walking into Liverpool is more experienced so far this season. It's more technical than Man United. I don't think it will be that easier or as easy as we played against Man United, against Liverpool. Liverpool will also not sit down. They would play you. And you guys have always played like that over the years. They will play you, you will play them. Do you see that opportunity? Because the City that I have watched, even though you said they are more motivated right now, that defense is leaking like
Is
whatever.
to
Yeah, I
They are
mean,
me
chances
just last
to
month was the
you
1-1 draw
still
to Chelsea.
exactly. So that defense has been leaking goals. You've considered a lot. You haven't scored as much as City used to be. So walk me through how that game will be played. And I'm going to pose the same question to Lopsy.
That draw to Chelsea, they were lucky. It's because Chelsea was not, their strikers were not experienced. If not, that game should have ended at 3-1.
Yeah,
We
even
could say that. But
Luton,
I want
Easy,
Luton
to
managed to
3-1,
score two
easy.
goals.
but
But we're
They
listening to
missed a lot
Donadoni.
of chances,
We're
but
listening to
hold,
Donadoni.
hold on,
have,
Lopsy.
have you seen any game in which Chelsea does not lose a lot of chances?
here comes again. Excuses.
Let's hear about the setup for City.
The setup for City. If I am going to set up that team, I won't. There's only one change I will make in that game. I will take out Silva, and I will put in Alvarez. Right? Alvarez is a better marker of the ball. He puts pressure on the ball. He puts pressure on the defenders. I will play him ahead of Silva. That was the only major mistake I thought we made in Man U game. You make that change, and there will be a big difference.
So can you give us your lineup?
The,
What
the
lineup are you
lineup
expecting?
is
And
simple.
as
I think the
Biodun
same thing
said,
as United.
how do you show up that defense? Who do you put in your
They
defense? Because you have
they
5, 6 options, right? Who do you put in defense? Because you're going to concede chances against Liverpool. So how do you
so
tighten up that back
so
four?
what they did in that game, they were just too high up. They didn't give Man U any respect. Huh? They
Mm.
were just too high up, and they really depended on the speed of Walker to catch up with any Man U guy that wanted to come up front. Now the mistake they made was keeping Rashford on Walker's side. Remember, if you follow what I said the last time, I will put Walker on or put
On the
Rashford on the
right.
other side. The more
The
you
other
put
side.
Rashford there, Walker is able to catch up with him. And when he catches up with, he slows him down and he gets the ball from him. If he was on the other side, he will be totally free to square to the ball to whoever is coming. And Walker will be forced to cross over, leaving the middle all open. So in
Mm.
this game, I just don't see us playing that high. We play drop back a little because you have Salah on the other side out. You have Ake. This is why you have Ake, right? You have Diaz, you have Stones, you have Walker, you have Rodri in the middle as a
Akanji
bit.
would drop to the bench again.
Huh?
Akanji would drop to the bench again. Akanji.
Yeah, most likely. And because he played during the week, I don't think they will play him, right? Then
Yeah.
you have KDB, right? You have, of course, you have Haaland up front. You have Foden and you have Alvarez. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Then most likely is going to play Doku.
Doku is injured, right?
Hmm.
If Doku is
Who's
injured, then they will have no choice than to play Silva.
yeah, because
Mm.
I think Doku is injured, so you
Let me
might
see.
have to
I don't
choose.
think he's injured. I can
Then they
check.
Yeah,
will have to. I don't
I mean
think
he
he'll be.
might be available, but yeah, I think he has a little knock. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
he's gonna.
So you probably will have to play Silva there. But that's the lineup.
Okay, cool. Ayo, go ahead.
Yeah. So same question for Lobzy. How
Lobsy.
does Liverpool line up to get a result from this game?
So right now, I have no other choice than to play Keller as a keeper, which is great.
Better
Um,
than him.
Van Dijk, Simicas, Anderson, and Robertson and Gomez in defense.
So Konate
Because
is not
Konate
fit.
will come in.
Is he fit to play?
I think he's
So
not
let me
ready
ask you a question. If
because
you
it
have
seems
both
like he was
Konate and
not.
Gomez, if you have both Konate and Gomez, you would start Gomez ahead of Konate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because in the last game he played on Thursday, I think he had a little knock towards the end of the game. So because you want to prevent injuries in the other upcoming
Against
game,
City, against City, you are
I know
telling
what
me
I'm.
you're going to play Gomez and Van
Yes,
Dijk. Have you
yes,
seen their games before? Have you seen the way the two of them play? It
I
creates problem
know.
for
I
Van Dijk.
understand what I'm saying. Remember, it's an opinion, it's not a fact.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you
I
were
understand
Klopp,
what you're saying very well
I assume
because
that
Konate
you are
has.
putting
Remember, I know
your best team
Konate.
forward.
Yes, Konate has the presence, but because he was knocked in the last game we played, you don't want to start him, get him injured, then lose him for a game
For the
after.
rest of the season.
Yeah, so I would rather not put him in there. Let someone who is fully fit. I know he doesn't have the same
Okay.
physique as Konate, but I know he can hold Foden any day, anytime. That's easy. You can hold Foden
Robert,
any day. Yeah, you can hold the old Foden easily any day, anytime.
I know that's one on one v one that we need to look out for.
1v1, right? Next,
Foden is the hottest speed in the block right now.
next in the midfield, I will have Endo, Soboslai, McAllister has been playing fine. Avi Elliott is the only other option that we have because I will tell you the other ones. Ryan Grappenberg is injured. Bobby Clark is too young to play. He's too young to play a tough game like that. So you probably have only one or two other, yeah, maybe one other substitute that we have in the midfield, right? Um, in the four, so that's 4-3-1 substitute. Three, we have Nunes, Thiago, and Salah.
Did you
Kodigakpo
did
can
you
come
say
in.
Thiago?
Nunes. Did you say Diaz or you say Diago? I don't.
Diaz,
I don't know.
Diaz,
Okay,
Ah,
Diaz,
Diaz, Nunes, Salah, up
and
front.
Salah. Yeah,
Okay,
Kodigakpo
okay.
will come in as a substitute. I've been seeing that his accuracy level has been at below par recently because He plays a lot of game. He knows how to do a good assist, but I think he's a new Nunes. He doesn't. His accuracy is like low, compared to Nunes right now. So that's usually that would be the our option for forward because as I would say, there's barely no substitute for any of those players in forward. So we don't have the variety of choice to choose between any of those players.
I was trying to see if I could get a visual together here for what you guys are calling
Mhm.
out.
Yep.
Okay. Who was in your back four again?
You have
Gomez,
Simikas?
Simicast
Simicast.
and because
I
so
don't
is
remember his
Conor
number.
Bradley. Question for you, Lobzy. Is Conor Bradley not fit to play? Is he injured? Let me just double check. Conor Bradley.
Yeah, he's fit to play, but of recent, he's played in the last game that we played on Thursday yesterday. He considered a goal for the team. We played 5-1, but that 5-1 was direct own goal.
So I have a question for you. You're playing both Simicast and Robertson. Who is going to play on the
Bernardo
right? Because
Silva here, right? Who was on
both
the
are
other
left.
wing? Foden?
They are both left-footed, right?
Yeah, Gomez
Okay.
plays free role, right?
No, I'm
Simicast
asking you for
goes
your right.
forward,
I'm asking for your right back and left back, right full back and left full back.
like I mentioned. We don't have the variety because the other players are injured. Most other players are injured or they are not playing up to par.
Okay.
I lost you guys there for a second.
Okay. So you leave Simicast on the left, you put Robertson maybe on the right, then you have Gomez and Van Dijk in the middle,
Yes.
center back. Okay.
So who's the right back?
It's going to be Robertson. I mean, that's Lobsy's.
Robertson. Yeah.
On the right?
Yeah, I mean, because you have Simicast, they both play on the left. You go,
They
you
play
can't, you
both play on
gotta
the
have,
left.
So
And we
Robertson
have a
comes to
knock
the
already.
right.
Like I mentioned, we have a
and,
knock.
and that would be good for. Well, I don't know.
You
Doku.
know how many
I have
times
a
I've
question for
heard.
Donadoni. Donadoni, have you been impressed with the signing of Doku this season? Give me your judgment on Doku.
Uh, yes and no.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes, in terms of he has added a new dimension to the team. No, in sense that if you are an intelligent defender, you figure him out.
And
That's
I
the only
brought it up
thing.
because if he starts this game, he's going to have to face Robertson that is very matured and experienced. And all his
But
trickery, I mean, Gulo Masto of Chelsea figured him out, right? He tried to pocket him. Same thing on against Man United. He was pocketed until he was subbed out. So, he has this way of shaking down opponent, but the delivery is not there.
so there's something he's not doing. He's trying to take on the opponent by himself. Which
Mhm.
Man City, you have your teammates. There's 1-2 move, 1-2 move, 1-2 fake move. The moment you play the 1-2, you bring the ball back to the middle and you make the run in, and you just have to only cross the ball. The defender cannot be there, but he's trying to beat the defender all the time. Sometimes you just need the movement. You don't have to dribble the defender. Yeah, you just have to make the movement. Personally, I think Oscar Bob is ready, but there's seniority in every team. Like, to me, I think Oscar Bob is ready. He's more intelligent, but he's just younger. So the coach will not play him because he spent a lot of money on Doku.
Doku.
So
Interesting.
who are your options in the back for Donadoni? I think I missed that. So I think you said Diaz, right?
There's Diaz. He
Mm-hmm.
most likely will play Foden. But
Yeah.
not
So I
Foden.
have Foden and
Stones.
Stones. Got it. Okay.
Then Walker and Ake on the other side.
Got it.
So the
Okay.
only the only weak point we have in this game is Ake against Salah.
Mm.
Ake is good, is quick, but it's not as quick as Salah.
Mm. Okay.
That was one of your best player last season. He held up all the wingers. in the league. I mean, why
I
would he be able to do
Mm,
it against Salah?
he didn't have to defend that much. That's the truth. He didn't have to defend that much.
mm,
But if you put a very fast-paced winger against him, you'll beat him. He's
mm.
intelligent. He knows how to mark the ball, but he doesn't have the speed to catch up.
Hmm.
Interesting. Wow. I think this is a
Hmm.
good lineup. I mean, looking at this lineup, I don't see why anything would give injury excuse. I mean, I know that Gravin Birch, well, even if he played,
You
he's
know,
not better than
you know how many times I've
James.
heard this
That,
word
that was
injury.
my point. If you have Soboslai, McAllister, and Endo off it, I
I
mean
mean,
that's your starting
those are your
midfield.
excuse, right? I mean, the folks that are injured are probably going to start from the bench anyway.
Yeah, Gravenberch would not start over those two or
Yeah,
three.
Pathetic,
Uh,
Gravin Birch, they will start on the bench anyway. So the
yeah.
problem is you might argue that okay, you don't have a solid bench as City to bring in and change things. You might make that argument, but
What
again,
we all
I
started
mean,
this
Harvey
season at the
Elliott
same
has
time.
played consistently.
it's quality. It's quality, right? I mean, you having folks like maybe Grealish on the bench, right? That's
So
quality. Somebody trying to
Oscar
bring in.
Bob, what did we have to? Did we buy Oscar Bob? Did we buy Palmer? Did we buy Louis? Yeah. Did we buy all those guys? See, at this point, when it's time to play, we play. The excuse of
Mm.
injuries is we are not buying that any longer. It's time to play.
Well, I before we wrap up, I'm just gonna make one quick uh point here. Against Man United, Rashford struggled. Well, not that he struggled, he just didn't play well in my own opinion. You're gonna have Diaz
I
facing
don't think he struggled. He didn't struggle.
He did struggle. He did struggle. You might be
I think he had some chances. He was just against
he had
Walker. He was
one
just I think
chance. He had one chance he took in the game. The second chance, the ball
the
didn't
other
get to him.
chances.
he had
The
other
other
chances
chances,
in which
no, it didn't. In the second half, they totally captured
No,
the.
in the first half, he had another chance one-on-one with the goalkeeper that he missed the kick.
Yes, he didn't. That second chance he got in the first
Bro,
in the
if he
first
didn't
half,
lose his balance, that was a clear. Even if you didn't score, you will make an
see
attempt on goal.
you make an
if you
attempt,
go back
right?
and
But he didn't get it.
if you go back and watch the replay, now Rashford now controlled the ball and the ball was still bouncing.
Oh, that's even
It's
different. I remember the one you're talking about. That's the one that he had a bad touch that he used his head to push the. And you remember the two games before now? Allard had defender sleep, and Allard took it right with his first touch. That's why they say the first touch
Yes,
matters a
but
lot. His first touch was wrong.
the reason why he had that bad touch was because he knew Walker was going
There was
Walker did
another,
not chance that the
tapped him on
ball
the
was
shoulders
crossed
and
to
he
him,
fell
but he
down.
couldn't control it.
yes, he fell
There
down. He
was
missed it.
another one.
So
There
that
was
one
another
is
one. He
that
was
was the
full
one I'm
pace.
talking about.
Remember, there's another one that he was full pace, full speed. That
Yeah.
Walker tapped him on the shoulder. And
Imagine switch Rashford for Diaz and tell me if that will not be a problem that City should worry about. That's the point.
the Diaz that you know, is he a clinical finisher?
But he's an
Let
The
me
advocate.
Diaz
remind
that you
you.
know,
Wait, hold on. Let me remind you if you've forgotten. The first game he played against City, what was the score?
I mean,
You probably don't remember. You don't
in
remember.
the
You don't. What I'm saying, what you're trying to say.
there's no important. We cannot be playing Champions League final. I will be playing the bench players.
You
Facing
use an
Walker.
excuse when you think it favors you. You
See,
use an excuse. You
again,
come, oh wait,
see,
our team was not. We played as superb team, but we
don't expect Walker to bump up front on the right and to be right there anytime there's a counter or something to take care of it. So I don't see
Mm.
Walker moving too.
I mean, Lobzy, feel free to make the point for yourself. What I'm trying to get you to agree to, Donadoni, is that damn to be a threat. So if you are considering Salah and Diaz, you guys are going to have to respect them and a little bit careful and push back and not be attacking the way you used to.
your defense open and porous. And remember the last time you tried that,
But,
it wasn't an important game. No, it wasn't an important game. You just
exactly.
forgot. You
I
thought
remember.
you need to change your name from Donadona. I remind
Oh
you,
my goodness.
what
Let's take score predictions because at the start of this Lobzy, I think you were a bit more cautious than you've been in recent times. For all the Liverpool games that you've been on here, you were very confident of a win, even though those results didn't quite go your way. So let's take a prediction. How do you see this game go?